Alright, good morning and welcome to Master Talker online class. Please, if today is your first day of watching our video, please consider subscribing. Okay, let's look into this simple question on roots of quadratic equation. If I have not watched our complete video on roots of quadratic equation, please go and watch it. It will help you. Okay, so now they said that R1 and R2 are the roots of the equation below. Then we should find this. Okay, look at the equation they gave us. So starting from the first one, which they gave us 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. This shows that my a is equal to this first one, 3. Okay, my b is equal to the other one, minus 4, and my c is equal to 1. Okay, now before you find anything in a root of quadratic equation, you need to find the sum and the product. Okay, so the sum first. The sum means r1 plus r2, which is the formula said minus b over a, which is what? Minus into minus 4 all over my a is 3. So my answer is what? 4 over 3. Okay, then the product is simply r1 r2, that's multiplying them, and the formula said c over a, which is what? 1 over 3. Okay, since I've gotten the root and the sum and the product, I can now find all these things. So to find I said r1 all over r2 plus r2 all over r1. Now by LCM, these two will give me r1 r2. When these two divide, this is meaning r1 times this will give what? r1 squared plus, when this divide, this is meaning r2 times this, I'm having r2 squared. Okay, now r1 squared plus r2 squared is the same thing as alpha squared plus beta squared, and the formula is what? r1 plus r2 all squared minus 2 r1 r2. Okay, all over this one still remain r1 r2 r1 r2. Okay, so now let us put it now. Our r1 plus r2, which is this, we got it as what? 4 over 3 all squared minus 2 into our r1 r2, we got it as 1 over 3. Okay, then all over r1 r2 again, 1 over 3. So what do we have now? We are now having that let me solve here. Okay, if I solve here, I'm going to have that this is 16 over 3, okay, minus 2 over 3. This square is 16, this square, okay, is 9, this square is 9. Okay, all over what? 1 over 3. So the numerator is giving me, the LCM is 9. 9 into this 1 times this, 16 minus 9 into this 3 times 2, 6. Okay, then divided by that 1 over 3, the denominator. So which is what? This and this is giving me 10 over 9 times 3 over 1. So if you change divide to times, this will swap. This into this 1, this into this 3. So I'm left with what? 10 over 3. Okay, as simple as that. 10 over 3. Okay, so that is for I. So let us get II. Okay, now if you can see that alpha squared plus beta squared, did they give us alpha squared plus beta squared? II. Okay, permit me, where do I click? Okay, we got alpha squared plus beta squared, which is this formula, as this one, 10 over 9. Okay, so but let's just still do it anyways. So I've gotten the first one, I. So II said r1 squared plus r2 squared. We have solved it, is what? r1 plus r2 all squared minus 2 r1 r2, which gave us what? 4 over 3 all squared minus 2 into 1 over 3. So which gave us 16 over 9 minus 2 over 3. And the LCM is what? 9. 16 minus 6, which is what? 10 over 9. Okay, so we have gotten II. So let's get III. III said alpha cube plus beta cube, that is r1 cube plus r2 cube. I told you that the formula here is what? r1 alpha plus beta all cube, okay, minus 3 alpha beta then in bracket of alpha plus beta. Okay, so instead of using alpha beta here, they are using R1 and R2 to confuse you, but still have the mindset of alpha and beta. It will help you. So this is now this one gave us 4 over 3 all cube minus 3 into, this one gave us 1 over 3 still into 4 over 3 again. So this one is giving me 4 raised to power 3. 4 raised to power 3 will give me, that is 4 times 4 times 4. That is 64. That is 64 over 27 minus, this time this is what? 12 over what? This time this is 9. Okay, so which is giving me, so the LCM is 27. So I'm having 64 minus 3 times 12. 3 times 12, 36. 36. So which will give me 64 minus 36. That is 28 over 27. 28 over 27. Okay, so as simple as that. So let's move to the next one. So we have done I. Oh, that one we did is IV. Sorry. Let's do I. I said alpha minus beta all squared. The formula is still just alpha plus beta, okay, all squared minus 4 alpha beta. I thought you that just go to my video on roots of quadratic equation, you understand better. So this one will give you 4 over 3 all squared minus 4 into 1 over 3. So what do we have now? 16 over 9 minus 4 over 3. So the LCM is 9. That is 16 minus 12. So which will give you 4. That is 4 over 9. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, so the next one I can clean. So we've done IV. Let's do V. V said alpha squared beta plus beta alpha beta squared. Okay, so now if you look at this thing, they have something in common. They have alpha and beta in common. So if I bring out R1 and R2, which they have in common, when these two divide, this is remaining R1 here, plus when these two divide this one is remaining R2 here. So this is the formula. So R1 R2 is 1 over 3 in bracket of R1 plus R2 is 4 over 3. So the answer is now 4 over 9. As simple as that. Okay, so the next one, so number 6, sorry, which is the last one. Number 6 gave us 1 over alpha r cube plus what? 1 over r2 cube. Now if you take the LCM, is what? R1 R2 all cube. Or it's supposed to be like this. Watch, it's supposed to be like this: R1 cube R2 cube. Okay, when the both of them divide, this is meaning R2 cube. R2 cube times this, I'm having R2 cube plus when both of them divide this one, I'm having R1 cube. So we're going to have R1 cube. So it is now the same thing as saying, let me arrange this very well: R1 cube plus what? R2 cube all over R1 R2 all cube. Okay, so the answer is simply, we have gotten this thing, we have gotten this one as IV. So just put that answer we got this one as IV, then divided by R1 R2 is what? 1 over 3 all cube. So the answer will now be that answer we got as this. The answer we got as VI. Sorry, the answer we got as IV. The answer we got as IV. Please, I've wiped it. So the answer we still got as IV. Then times this one will turn. 1 cube is 1, but this cube is 27. 27 over 1. So then do the answer, and then you get what the final answer will be. Okay. So that is that. So let's go over to the next one. So number B said n squared plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. So from here we are having that what? that A is 1, B is 2, and C is minus 3. Okay, so the sum, you must need the sum. The sum is R1 plus R2, which is minus B over A, which is minus 2 over 1, which is minus 2. Okay, the product, which is what, R1 R2, which is C over A, which is what, minus 3 over 1, which is minus 3. So we have gotten the sum and the product. It will now help us to get all these things. Okay, so me, I want to start from II. Okay, I want to start from where? From II. So if I start from II, it said R1 squared plus R2 squared, which is what? R1 plus R2 all squared minus 2R1 R2. So which is what? This is minus 2 all squared minus 2 into minus 3. So which is what? 4 plus 6, which is what? 10. I have gotten this one as 10. So let me solve I. Let me solve I. I said R1 all over R2 plus R2 all over R1. So if you look at this, the LCM is R1, R2. When both of them divide, this is meaning R1. R1 times this will give you what? R1 squared plus, when both of them divide this, I'm getting R2. R2 times this will give you R2 squared. Okay, so but we have gotten R1 squared plus R2 squared as 10. So I'm having what? 10 divided by, then this one gave me minus 3. So which is what? Minus 10 over 3. Okay, so we want to write it out that I got R1 squared plus R2 squared as 10. I just want to write it out because I will still be using it. Okay, so the next one, you can actually solve it like this. So you can actually get this one first before any other one. It's very okay. That's the person marking it will even be happy that you are a mathematician. So I'm having what? That R1 minus R2 all squared is the same as saying R1 plus R2 all squared minus 4R1 R2. Okay, so R1 R2 all squared is giving me minus 2 all squared minus 4 into minus 3. So I'm having 4 plus 12, which is what? 16. Okay, then IV is giving me that R1 cube plus R2 cube, which is giving me as that is R1 plus R2 all cube minus 3 into R1 minus 3 R1 R2 then into R1 plus R2. So that's the formula. So which you have that what? This one here is minus 2 all cube minus 3 into minus 3 then into minus 2. So this one will give me minus 8. Okay, minus minus plus minus is minus. So I'm having minus 18. 3 times 3 9 times 2 18, which is what? Minus 26. So that is that. So I got R cube plus R cube 1 and 2 as minus 26. I'm going to use it. So let's move to the next one. So I'm having V. V said R squared 1 R2 plus R1 R2 squared. If you factorize this, they have R1 and R2 in common. So if both of them divide this, what is remaining here is R1 plus, if both of them divide this, what is remaining here is R2. So my answer is simply R1 R2 gave me minus 3 in bracket of minus 2, which is 6. As simple as that. So the last one in this question is VI, and the VI said 1 over R1 cube plus 1 over R2 cube. Okay, so and is equal to what? The LCM of this and this is simply R1 cube R2 cube. When the both of them divide this, is remaining R2 cube. R2 cube times this, I'm having R2 cube plus, when both of them divide this, is remaining R1 cube. R1 cube times this, I'm having R1 cube. So if you arrange it very well, I'm going to have R1 cube plus R2 cube all over R1 R2 all cube. Okay, so it's equal to, I have gotten this one as minus 26. So minus 26 divided by this one will give me minus 3 all cube. So which is what? Minus 26 over minus 27, which will give you 26 over 27. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so let's move to the next one. So let's move to the next one. Question B, C now. C said x squared plus 2 is equal to 0. If you look at it, you see that A is 1. There is no B here. There's no 1 that has x, so B is 0. Then C is just 2. Okay, so the sum, we need the sum. The sum is simply R1 plus R2, which is what? Minus B over A, which is what? Minus 0 over 1, which is 0. Okay, then the product is simply R1 R2, which is what? C over A, which is what? 2 over 1, which is 2. Okay, so if you have gotten this thing now, it will now help you to get every other thing. So I want to start from number 2 again. Let me start from II said R1 squared plus R2 squared, which is same as what? R1 plus R2 all squared minus 2 R1 R2. So which is what? R1 plus R2 gave me 0. 0 squared minus 2 into this one gave me 2. So what do you have? 0 minus 4, which is minus 4. So I want to write it out that I got R1 squared plus R2 squared as a minus 4. Okay, so the next one is I. Let me solve I. I said R1 plus R2. This one is R2 here, and this one is R1 here. Okay, so if you look at this, the LCM is R2 R1. When both of them divide, this is remaining R1 times this, I'm having R1 squared plus this one is R2 squared, which will give you, I have gotten this one here as minus 4 all over. R2 R1 is giving me 2. So when they divide this, I'm having minus 2 as my answer. So the next one, that is I said R1 minus R2 all squared is equal to R1 plus R2 all squared minus 4 R1 R2. So which will give me this one here. This one here gave me this one is 0. So I have 0 squared minus 4 into 2, which is what? 0 minus 8, which is minus 8. Okay, so let's go into the next one. IV said R1 cube plus R2 cube, which is what? R1 plus R2 all cube minus 3 R1 R2, then in bracket of R1 plus R2. So if you do that, you're going to have that this is what? 0 cube minus 3 into 2 into 0. So I'm having what? 0 minus 0, which is what? 0. So I've gotten this one as 0. So the next one is what? V. And V said R squared 1 R2 plus R1 R2 squared. Okay, so if you factorize this, they have R1 and R2 in common. R1 R2 they have in common. These two divide by this is remaining R1 plus these two divide by this is remaining R2. So if you look at this, you're going to have this is 2 bracket 0, which is what? 0. So the last but not the least here said VI, which is what? 1 over R cube, R1 cube plus 1 over R2 cube. And if you do the LCM, you're going to have R1 R2 all cube. Then here I'm having R1 cube plus R2 cube. So and the R1 cube plus R2 cube gave me 0. So 0 over what? 2 raised to power 3. So which is what? 0, because 0 divided by anything is 0. So I'm done with C. Let's go to D. So for D, okay, for D, D said that what? 7x squared minus 14x is equal to what? Sorry, minus 14 is equal to 2x. So arrange it very well to have 7x squared minus 2x minus 14 is equal to 0. So if you look at this, automatically my A is 7, my B is minus 2, and my C is minus 14. So the sum, we need the sum. The sum is what? R1 plus R2, which is equal to what? Minus B over A, which is minus into minus 2 over 7, which is what? 2 over 7. Okay? I've gotten 2 over 7. So the next one is the product. The product, which is what? R1, R2, which is what? C over A, which is what? What is my C? Minus 14 over what? 7, which is what? Minus 2. So I've gotten the sum and the product. It will now help me to get every other thing here. So let me still start from II. My II said R1 squared plus what? R2 squared, which is what? R1 plus R2 all squared minus 2 R1 R2. Okay, so let me check my time. Okay, so what do you have now? I'm having that this is equal to R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2 gave me 2 over 7 all squared minus 2 into minus 2. So I'm having what? 4 over 49 plus 4 over 1. So the LCM is 49. I'm having 4 plus 49 times 4. So 196. So 196, which is giving me, if you add it to plus 4. So I'm having 200 over 49. So I have to write it somewhere that I got it as what? 200 over 49, because I'm still going to use it. Okay, so let me do I. So my I said R1 all over R2 plus R2 all over R1. The LCM here is what? R1, R2. When both of them divide is R1. R1 times this R1 all square plus what? R2 all square. So I have gotten the one at the numerator as 200 over what? 49. Then divided by R this gave me minus 2. So change divide 2 times. You have what? 200 over 49 times 1 over minus 2. So I'm having what? Minus 100 over 49. Because this divide 1, this divide 100. So minus 100 over 49. Somebody will say that the minus is that the denominator. Plus minus will still give you minus, which is the same thing. Okay, so the next one is I, because I've solved I. I said R1 minus R2 all squared, which is the same thing as saying R1 plus R2 all squared minus 4 R1 R2. Okay, so which is same thing as saying R1 plus R2 gave me 2 over 7. So 2 over 7 all squared minus 4 into minus 2. So what do you have now? 4 over 49. 4 over 49 plus 8 over 1. Okay? 4 over 49 plus 8 over 1. Okay? So what do we have? We're having a 49 here. 4 plus 49 times 8. 49 times 8. So I'm having 392. So if you add it to this plus 4, so I'm having 396 over what? 49. So that is that. So the next one. So the next one is which other one? My V. Okay. Huh? Which one did I do now? I've done this one. So IV. IV is what? R1 cube plus what? R2 cube, which is what? R1 plus R2 all cube minus 3 R1 R2. So the R1 plus R2 gave me 2 over 7 all cube minus 3 into minus 2. Is it not? So what do you have now? Sorry, you have to put R1 plus R2. Don't forget. So I'm still going to multiply it by 2 over 7 again. 2 over 7. So this one is giving me 8 over 7 raised to power 3. That is 7 times 7 times 7. That is 343. 343 plus so the denominator is already 7, so minus minus is plus, so 3 times 2, 6, 6 times 2, 2 times 2 times 3, that is 12, so I'm having 12 here. Okay, so which is what the LCM is 3, 4, 3, so I'm having 8 plus 12 times 49, so I'm having 588, 588, so 588 plus 8, so 596, 596 over 343. Okay, so that is for this one. So the next one, in fact, I'm going to use this, that r cubed plus r cubed 21 gave me 596 over 343. So I'm going to use it for the last one. So here it gave me v now said r1 squared r2 plus r1 r2 squared, which is what r1 r2 in bracket of r1 plus r2. Okay, that is it. So which is what r1 r2 gave me minus 2 in bracket of this one gave me 2 over 7, so which is what minus 4 over 7. As simple as that. So the last one said vi said 1 over r cubed, 1 over r1 cubed plus 1 over r2 cubed, so which is what r1 cubed plus r2 cubed all over r1 r2 all cubed. So this one at the numerator gave me 596 over 4343 divided by r1 r2 gave me minus 2 all cubed. So the answer will now be 596 over 343 times 1 over minus 8. So which will give me what? Minus 596 divided by, let me check if 8 can even divide 596. 596 divided by 8. Okay, divided by 4. Okay, so 4 can divide there to have 2. 4 divided, I'm having 149. So it's supposed to be minus 149 divided by 343 times 2. 343 times 2. So I'm having 6686. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so let's go into the next one. B, C, D, E. Okay, let's go into the next one, E. I think I'm going to solve E and then I'm done. Let me check my time. Okay, let me just solve E. E said 11x squared minus, is equal to 5x. So which is 11x squared minus 5x is equal to 0. So which shows that A is 11, B is minus 5, and C is 0. Okay, because there is no constant. So this one will show me that the sum is simply r1 plus r2, which is what? Minus b over a, which is what? Minus into minus 5 over what? 11, which is what? 5 over 11. Why the product? Product is simply r1 r2, which is c over a, which is what? 0 over 11, which is 0. Okay, so now let's get let me start from number 2 again as usual. I said r1 plus r2 squared, and the formula is r1 plus r2 all squared minus 2 r1 r2, which is what? R1 plus R2 gave me 5 over 11. 5 over 11 all squared minus 2 into 0. Okay, which is what? 25 over 121. Because anything times 0 is 0. So I got that R1 plus R2 squared is equal to 25 over 121. Okay, so it will help me to get the next that I want to get. For I, let me solve I. I said R1 plus all over R2 all over R1 is equal to, the LCM is R1 R2, and numerator I'm having R1 squared plus R2 squared. So if you look at that, the numerator gave me 25 over 121. Then R1 R2 gave me 0. Anything divided by 0 is still 0. So that is, anything divided by 0 is undefined. So this one divided by 0 is undefined. Okay, it's undefined. So can I clean? Yes. So let me go to the next one. So what do we have now? We're having I've solved I. So I said R1 minus R2 all squared, and the formula said R1 plus R2 all squared minus 4R1 R2. So and the formula said 5 over 11 all squared minus 4 into 0. So which is what? That is the same 25 over 1 to 1. Okay, 25 over 1 to 1. So the next one, IV said R1 cube plus R2 cube, which is what? R1 plus R2 all cube minus 3 R1 R2 then into R1 plus R2. Okay, so what am I having here? 5 over 11 all cube minus 3 into 0 into 5 over 11. 0 times everything is 0, so I'm left with 25. 5 times 5 times that is 125, I guess. 5 times 5 times 5 125. So I'm getting 125 over 11 times 11 times 11 times 11. So I'm having 1331. Okay, so I need this one. That's R cube plus R cube 2 and 1 gave me 125 over 1331. Okay, so it will help me solve the other one. So V. So let's go to V. So to solve my V said R1 squared R2 plus R1 R2 squared, which the formula said R1 R2 in bracket of R1 plus R2, which is what? 0 bracket what? 5 over 11, which is 0. That's all. So VI said 1 over sorry about it.